welcome to Always Yarn First, the podcast that delves into knitting, crochet, spinning, and all things yarn. I'm Lindsay, and I'm coming to you from Little Rock, Arkansas. To stay updated on my latest yarn adventures, you can follow me on Instagram and Ravelry as Always Yarn First. Welcome! This is episode 72. Today is September 18th, 2024, the afternoon, and it is a Wednesday. And I'm so happy to be here with all of you. There has been many new subscribers. Thank you to the lovely Amy at Happy Little Yarn for giving me a shout out on her podcast. So welcome. If you're new here, I'm happy you've decided to check me out. I hope that you will stick around. I do a traditional podcast format, and I name every episode after a song title, because before my love of yarn was my love of music. So this week's episode, number 72, is Finally by CC Peniston. It is a club dance hit from the 90s. I think that's right. Yes. So, because finally the retreat is over, it was much anticipation, and I'm getting ready to go on vacation, which has been much anticipation. So we are going to get into it. So this week I have no finished objects. I do have a new cast on, whips, acquisitions, including acquisitions specifically from the Arkansas Yarn Co. Weekend with Friends retreat. So we'll go into talk about that a little bit too. So let's dive in. I do have timestamps below. Oh, and I do have spinning. I have a little bit of spinning also, which kind of goes into those retreat acquisitions. So one more note before we get into the podcast is I am a Knitpicks ambassador, and they have given me a coupon code for the month of September. You can get a discount on your total purchase for 10% off, and it is AKPFIRST, and I will put that on the screen, and I will have it below in the notes too. So be sure to use that code if you're going to get something on Knitpicks. All right, so no finished objects. Let's start with a new cast on. I have this in my black Purl magic bag. And because I'm getting ready to go on vacation, which means some flights, we're also going to be doing a train ride. I wanted to make sure I had a project that was going to be pretty easy knitting. I'm obviously bringing socks, and I may bring a hat, which I'll talk about in a while. But I wanted to cast on something else. So I actually looked at my Make 9 for the year, and I had the yarn and pattern ready for this. This is the Diggory tee by Devin Ventre, who is knitting McPurly. And I'm really excited to finally be starting this. The pattern is awesome. It is like a basic t-shirt, but I'm really, really excited to be using this yarn finally. This yarn is from my friend. Look at this. Charming You. Look at the colors in this. I cannot. It is so good. It is her chibi sock base. Oh, I don't have the tag here. And I believe it's an 80-20. And I love it because it has my three favorite colors in there, which is blue, hot pink, and hot orange. So I have cast on. This t-shirt is knit bottom up, but you basically do 4 rows of ribbing, and then it's just knit the body. So I made sure to cast it on, so that part was done. And so I just have miles of stockinette. Trying to show just how well those pops play in the yarn. Oh, I love it. So much fun. So really excited to this. Now I'm basically knitting. I think mine will be about 13 inches. So easy peasy. perfect for the plane. I even have it on my bamboo needles, although I've heard that within the US there's no problem with knitting needles. I like my Likey or Licka needles. They're bamboo, they're the driftwood ones. And so I just put them on there and I am ready to just crazy knit. So I'm excited to see that by the next podcast after vacation to see how much I get done with this. But those colors just make me so happy. Again, that's Charming You. It's Maureen. She is about to be at DFW Fiberfest. So when this comes out, DFW Fiberfest will be going on. But I'll be leaving for New York. So I unfortunately cannot go. But definitely go check out her booth because it's always bright and cheery there. All right, that is my only cast on I have done. So let's get into whips. And before we full on get into whips, I have a small tale of woe. So if you watched the last episode, you know I was steadily working on my braided bralette. Now, the last episode, I had just gotten past all that ribbing and was into basically the body, like a little bit around, and then the separate cups, and then you do I-cord straps. So I finished all the body around. I did one full cup. I did the I-cord for it, and I went to try it on to see how long I needed to make my I-cords. And something was terribly wrong. And have you ever misread a pattern by the dumbest thing? So this is what happened. Usually when I'm making garments, I prefer like a 4 to 6 inch positive ease. Okay. So I'm making this. Evidently when I looked at this pattern and picked out my size, I saw 4 to 6 ease. I tried this tank top on and it was so huge. I mean, there's no way around it. It had to be frogged. It had to be completely frogged. There was no way I could salvage even like the ribbing. It would look horrible. And so I'm like, what in the world? I have never had something go that wrong out of size. So I went back to the pattern and I looked at it, and my friend Lori she just finished another one. I think this is her 4th or 5th one. And like she said, this pattern's like super easy, friendly. So I'm like, okay, something's wrong. So I went back and the pattern is for 4 to 6 negative ease. So I re-looked at the sizes and I need to knit 2 sizes smaller than what I did. It's so ridiculous. So, I mean, we're going in the end of September. And so I have frogged that and stuffed the yarn away. I still would like to make that. I still would like to make it with that yarn. But being that we're at the end of the summer season, I was determined, like I said, to finish that and have it. But now I want to move on to other garments. Like that I probably will hopefully recast on during the spring is what I'm thinking. Spring or summer, it'll get recast on because it did go very fast. I just am a dummy. So that's what happened. That is my tale of woe for the week. All right, so let's get into our whips. Let's see what I have here. I have some way over on the other side of the table. All right, so let's go into I don't even have this on my list. I forgot I took this to the retreat with me and worked on this. This bag is a String Crazy bag. And it is holding my scrappy Wave to the Fans blanket. I can find my other needle. There we go. All right, now let's see if I can find my progress keeper so we can see how much progress I've changed. I think I've changed both colors I had last time on the needle. There's my little popple. So this is a pattern by Lori of Arkansas Yarn Co. This is a great pattern. She was using last year's Sock Yarn Society subscription club for hers. I started using some colors, but then I actually found it gave me more joy as a scrappy blanket, and I have so many fingering scraps that I just have little nubs of different things in here. And when it's holding yarn double for like a DK. And when one yarn runs out, I grab another one, so on and so forth, and just keep on trucking. This is my TV knitting project, but I thought it was great for the retreat. It is pretty easy to work on, even with social knitting. So I worked on that. I imagine, as the temperature gets cooler outside, that this will get some more love as we go on. Okay, onward to, let's do, what's in this one? Yes. This is in a bag from Laura, Knit for Brains, Rainbow Bright. And this was my project I worked on for Jessa had a steeking class. So last time when you saw this was in the round. I have not finished it. I actually completely forgot about it. I came home, put it with my whips, and I haven't worked on it. I was hoping to finish it because there's not much to do. So this is called Steek This Coffee Cozy. It is a free pattern on Ravelry, and it's literally information to make a mug cozy that you steek. So I did this in the round. And then during class, we secured with a crochet here. And then I picked up and did ribbing. And so same on the other side, secured, crocheted, and I've just picked up. So there wasn't enough time in the class to completely finish, but basically now I just need to do the longer ribbing on this side and then put on buttons. So I would say hopefully next podcast, but with vacation in there, it's probably not going to get done by next podcast. But that's okay. It was very fun and it was very easy to do. And so yeah, I look forward to finishing that in here. All right, next. Oh, I do have a half finished object. If you've been here a while, I've been working on these socks for my friend for a while. I have not even cast on the second sock, but this is just a vanilla sock. I did toe up for this one. And yeah, this is, what is this colorway? Oh, Supernova Dyeworks in the colorway Vibe Checks. So yeah, this, and I don't think it's coming through, maybe a little bit that there is some sparkle in there. But it doesn't look like it's coming through on my end. So yes, I finally finished one sock. So if I get my Desert Vista sock done for vacation, then I'm going to cast on this, and that'll be my sock whip for vacation for a small project to carry. So let's go into my Desert Vista for the next one. This is in my sock bag by Trappings Trinkets. And I did finish sock 1. So here it is. This is the colorway Camels in the Desert by Desert Vista Dyeworks in her Viso base. Again, these are vanilla socks. These ones I did top down. And I'm about ready. I'm very close to starting the heel on this one. So like I said, if I can power through the next few days, I would love to get these done before vacation because I am doing the make along where you have to knit a pair of her socks from start to finish in a month. And if you keep up with it every month through the rest of the year, then you get a specially dyed sock yarn that she does just for those that got through the whole year. So I really want to stay on track being this late in the year. So I'm afraid if I don't finish these before vacation, I have like a day to finish them when I get back by the end of the month. So That is my goal for the rest of the week. But it will get done for sure. All right. What do we have next? Okay, next I have a dishcloth. And I feel like I showed this last time when I cast this on. This is in a Nic Nac Knits bag. Care Bears. I mean, you've seen Popples, Rainbow Bright, and Care Bears now. So, I'm showing my age. And this is just using a Knitpicks Dishie twist. You see it's all rolled up because I was a lot farther along on this and realized my honeycomb stitches weren't matching up. So, this is a Tunisian crochet project. Here's my hook, my cable, and I have a little stitch marker on there. So this might seem less than where it was last time, but I promise I did work on it. It's because I had to frog it. So right now I'm just doing a honeycomb stitch. It is not a pattern, it's just the honeycomb stitch. And it's basically every other row, like you start the Tunisian knit or Tunisian purl, and then you alternate it. So it's kind of like a seed stitch, essentially. So here it is. And I had just looked at it, like some of the patterning was like on top of each other and it wasn't changed. And I'm like, oh, I messed that up a row. And so I frogged it back, restarted it. So no big deal. It's a dishcloth. I'm just doing it to practice my Tunisian crochet skills. So yeah, it's fun. All right. That reminds me of another acquisition I got from somebody. Okay, next. Now, I didn't do a lot on this, but I have talked about this project a lot, and I think I have a solution. So, this next project is in this bag. It is by... Who is this bag by? Oh my goodness. I've switched bags, so I have the wrong bag on my notes. By TannieCasey, that's it. I love this bag, it's nice and big. So this is holding my Mizzoni vest. So I will try to do a brief recap. Here it is so far. It's beautiful. Here's the side where you can see how little I have done, but I have done some. All right, so the thing with this vest is I bought a 550-gram set that's no longer available for my yarn. I wanted to use it for this. I was pretty sure I had enough. This vest also calls for 5 colors. The first color, which is this pink, you can see I'm in it now. So every Mizzoni vest, of course, is not the same size of the shapes, which is great. So my dilemma was I was seeing how many stripes I had left of this pink and seeing how much yarn I had and was worried. So I bought backup yarn from the same dyer who is knitting McPurly in the same base, different color. And I thought, well, instead of adding it, I could just do a different color and not worry about it. Well, then I tried to math it, and thank you, Nicole, and thank you to everyone else that had some things to say about math sweater knitting. She said that yes, that math would be correct. Okay, so what I did is when I was working this color, knowing the pink was next, I was trying to decide if I was going to do the pink or add in the new color. So the last 4 rows of this color here, I weighed my yarn, what I had, and then I did 4 rows and I weighed it again, and I figured out how much yarn it used for 4 rows. Then I figured out how many rows I had left to do of this pink. And I was going to be short. So you see that I still decided to use the pink, but this is what I'm going to do. So, for example, right now, in the section I'm working, it says to do 8 rows of this color. But again, because they're Mizzoni stripes and they're meant to be uneven, I am going to just take down some of those rows and add more rows to the color next to it, because I have no doubt I have enough of every other color. So I'm going to only do 6 rows in this section of the pink instead of 8. And then the next color, I'll do 2 more rows of it, and so on with the 2 other sections that I have going on. So I don't know why it didn't just come to me that simply, but yes, so that is what I'm going to do. So I just kind of didn't want to add the other color in. I really like the 5 color. It came in a set. They all go together very well. And I just kind of wanted to leave it as is. Oh, I'm sorry. My nose is so itchy. The cats have been walking all around me. Whew. All right. So didn't get a lot done on that, but I wanted to let y'all know how I decided with the math, how it worked out. So that is it for my knitting and crochet. So next I have a little bit of spinning, and then we're going to get right into acquisitions, starting with acquisitions specifically from the knitting retreat. And I'll talk a little bit about that. So spinning. So I was meant to host a spin-in. Not a class, because I am not a master spinner, but it's just a way if anyone else is a spinner, they know, hey, I can bring my spinner, and at that time we can all spin together. And so as I was driving on Thursday to the retreat, I realized I didn't bring my spinner, and I was not turning around. And last year, there was only like 2 people that were kind of interested in spinning. They kind of came in just to watch me spin, to check it out, to see what it's about. But there wasn't really anybody spinning. And so I thought, okay, well, I'm not going to worry too hard about it. It wasn't for a class. And I will still show up, that if anyone has any questions, you know, I can help out. So I get there, and then of course, a couple people's like, oh, you're doing the spin. And I'm like, yeah, I forgot my spinner. And it turns out that one of the ladies there we'll get more into it, but we had a table this year called Free to a Good Home, where you could bring things that you were happy that someone else took, and you can take freely from it. So this woman, B, she said, oh, well, I actually brought a spindle and fiber I was going to put on the Free to a Good Home table. If you want, I can give it to you, and you can use it for that at least, and then you can either keep it or you can put it on the table. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that would be so great. So she gave me her spindle and a whole bag. It just said 4 ounces. She didn't even know what it was, but it's beautiful. And so there was nothing on it. So I have been spindle spinning. Look at that. I have not spun with a spindle for, I'd say, at least a year and a half. Like, I was really nervous I was even going to be able to do it, honestly. So I took it in my room before the spin-in and just sat with it and tried to get it going. And I don't know if it's the spindle. Like, this is it's beautiful, first of all. But it's a really nice spindle. When I started spinning with a spindle, that's how I started spinning. And I bought just a cheap spindle because I was curious. And I'm like, oh, like, surely I didn't just all of a sudden get that good from not doing it for a year and a half. I'm like, it has to be partly because of the spindle. Because it's been a joy so much that I have been spinning on it even since I came out. Like, I was in there. First of all, nobody showed up for the spinning. But I sat in there and I got the hang of it, and I was really excited. I'm like, oh, I'm keeping this. I'm totally keeping this. And then the rest of the weekend, like, I went outside and was doing the spindle. I came home and did the spindle. It has been so much fun. So I just got my fiber hanging off of it. I did a little reel or story on Instagram with me doing it. It has been so much fun. I cannot get enough of this. So thank you, B, because this was awesome. I'm so glad that she, first of all, approached me, because who knows if I would have nabbed it before somebody else, but I am so thankful. So this is the spinning I'm doing. Have no clue what the fiber is, but loving it. Everything about it. Love it. And that's all the spinning I've done. So let's get into the rest of acquisitions / retreat talk. Okay, so she gave me that. And so I mentioned, let's talk about the retreat free to a good home. This was an idea I had quite a few months ago. I didn't even really know how to kind of like market it for the retreat. But if you're like me, you know, if you've been knitting or crocheting for many years, you have items that you enjoyed making, but if it's garments, they're not your color, they don't fit you right anymore, but they're handmade. So you just keep them because it's like, well, I don't know who to give them to that would appreciate them, that would take care of them well. I don't want to send them to Goodwill. So we just hold on to it forever. And I'm like, for me at least, being when, you know, you have so many pairs of hand knit socks, or you have garments, you have plenty of shawls, and you would be okay with getting rid of the ones that you don't ever wear if somebody was excited about it. Yeah, it's great to be paid for your stuff, but also like I would love it if someone just appreciated it. Like if I give it to Goodwill, I have no clue. If they stick it in the washer one time, that's it. It's done. So I had just kind of kept mentioning it to the ladies at the shop, and then I kind of mentioned it to a couple of regulars that came in that were going to the retreat, and they're like, oh, we love this idea so much. And we had 3 long tables at the retreat. People brought knitting baskets, different needles, different yarn, different garments, shawls, just you name it, it was on the table. And I was really worried how this would go too, because if everybody just came in and dumped everything when they got there and dumped everything Friday, and then you go through once, you're like, oh, well, there's nothing there. But for some reason, things kept appearing through the weekend. Like you go in at a different time and different things appeared, which was awesome. Because for like me, I didn't even go look in the room till Saturday. So the retreat started on Thursday night. That room was locked. So Friday morning, it was unlocked and people were able to start unloading things. And I did not even look Friday. Friday was a very busy day. It was classes and game night. And Saturday before the spin-in, I went to the store with Lori because it was a free time day and a lot of people went over to shop. And so I didn't have a chance to go. The first time I went in, I followed Laura Brady, who is Knit for Brains. She was at the retreat. And she was just putting stuff in there. I had just come in after her. Of course, she makes bags for her work. She was putting on bags on the table that she made, which was crazy. And she put some garments. And I looked at one tank top, which I love the colors at, but it was a very tight neck, and I couldn't even get it over my head. I'm like, well, that's a bummer. She's like, well, I think this other one fits you. So I grabbed this one. Let me tell you, Lori did try to take it out of my hands because it's pink. So some detail on the bottom. I don't know what pattern this is, but it fit me nicely and I'm super excited. And then, even more exciting, she's like, I think that cardigan would fit you also. Sorry, just a delivery guy just came. So I'm like, oh, where? She pointed it out. She'd put this cardigan. And I had forgot, it was pretty mild the weekend of the retreat. It was amazing weather. But the rooms were cold. And I don't say that lightly because I'm always hot. But she had this short sleeve cardigan. And it's blue, which is my color. So I put it on and I'm like, oh, yes, this is mine. And I was cold at the time, so it was awesome. And even better, this is a pattern that I have wanted to make for a while. Because somebody was asking me what it was. And I said, well, Laura made it. I don't know. And she said that this is by the Cozy Up Knit girls. And I'm like, oh, I know exactly what it is. It's the Simple Hug cardigan. And so I'm like, oh, I have one now. It's so exciting. So I totally sport. And I got a little project bag from her. So I got 2 garments, a project bag from Laura. Oh, and then I got this project bag because I was looking for something to hold my spinning things in. So this is a beautiful sister's bag. I don't know who left this, but this is one where it pops open like this. So I've just been storing my spinning in here with my fiber. So I got 2 project bags, 2 garments, and this never made it to the table. Of course, the spinning things never made it to the table. And then another thing never made it to a table because one of the girls, Cindy, had said, oh, these yarns just aren't my colors. And she's like, oh, does anybody like these? And she showed me this. I'm like, yes, I do. So I'm like, I will take that right off your hands. So this yarn is Artistic Yarn by Abby, the Watercolor Stripe. 75% superwash wool, 25% nylon, 460 yards. Beautiful. So those were all the acquisitions I got from the free table. I mean, how amazing is that? We are totally doing that from now on. And everyone said that they scored some great things. We did make everybody leave with things that didn't get taken so that we weren't responsible for all the leftovers. I got rid of a few hats, shawls, things like that. I don't think I brought any yarn or bags. I basically just brought items. So I came home with 1 hat and 1 shawl. I was ecstatic about. So I am going to put in a picture here of all of the, when I came home from the retreat, I was like, I don't know if I can keep all these things separate until I podcast. So just in case, I took a few groups of pictures. So one picture I took was the things I got for free at the retreat from the table. All right, the next thing I got from the retreat is, I will again put in a picture here, and that is the optional swaps that we had. So we have 3 swaps. We have a mystery swap where you bring a full skein, a fingering weight. We give you a brown bag. We put it in it, and everyone basically puts it on the table. You mark yours so you don't get the same one, and then everyone gets a different one. So I put in my picture here. I participated in that one. And then the stitch swap, which is everybody makes stitch markers and then gives them to everyone else. So you're supposed to make 50 for the participants. I made cassette tapes. Mine came in a few different colors, so I have a few extras in here. But then you come home with essentially 50 new stitch markers. I mean, I have a little pig. I have Devin made Murdogs. If you follow Knitty McPurly, you know what that is. There's a beaver in here. There's the shape of Texas, the shape of Mississippi. Someone did Shrinky Dinks with everybody's individual names on them. They're incredible, the different things. So I have in 2 different containers here all of my stitch markers. So that was super fun. And then the last swap I did not do this year, which is you could bring as many minis as you wanted, put them on the table, and then we one at a time go through the line, and you pick one each time, and then you go home with as many as you brought. And I decided not to do that this year. So second picture is the swaps or the optional different events that we had there. And then the third one, I don't have a picture of. I actually decided to get those. So the things that I got from the retreat. So let's talk about the swag bag, which is here. So in the bag, we had a skein of yarn. And the green, already caked up. I have my name tag in here still. We have a little pouch with different things you could use. Like I have scissors, stitch markers, a crochet hook, a darning needle, and then Lori provided this with, then we did this color for the retreat, again with the green. And a lot of people put all the stitch markers they got on this pin. So that's fun. And then it was also a sample of the Arkansas Yarn Co. tee. And we got a t-shirt. And we got a cup. Now, everyone's has the logo on it. There we go. Begin with friends. Just the workers from Arkansas Yarn Co. she got their names on theirs. So mine says my name. But this cup is massive. Massive. This is bigger than the Stanley cup I have. This cup is awesome. Awesome, awesome. All right. And everyone got a pattern. That was what the yarn is for. So the pattern, here it is, guys. This is not the one I made. This is the one Laura made because she is a speedy knitter. This is called the Natural State. It is a one skein shawl. You'll see that it has just like a fern pattern on one side. So everyone got a paper pattern of that. It is not up on Ravelry yet. However, I hope that when you see this on Friday, the 20th, it will be on Ravelry. I have just one more little edit to do, and then before I upload it, and then everyone at the retreat should get it free on Ravelry. So they have an electronic copy, but it will be for sale also on Ravelry. So that is called the Natural State. So that was the goodie bag, but then there was a couple other things. There's a lot of acquisitions, you guys. All right. So at the closing ceremonies, wait, I should start before that. Okay, so game night. I ran the game night. I was the MC and I did all the setup for the game night. We did a Let's Make a Deal plus a trivia night. It was super fun. It was so much fun. It made me feel so good because the rest of the weekend people kept coming up to me and saying how much fun they had at game night. So there was lots of different prizes that Lori put in there for the Let's Make a Deal. But for the trivia night, we had a special prize that everyone loves, the Arkansas Yarn Co. Arkansas resin stitch markers. So we made gold ones. They're so pretty. And basically the winning team of the night, they all got these stitch markers. And then there was enough for us as the team members at the store also all got one. So I was excited. I'm like, but I can't win one. I'm singing. So I was super excited that we got one as well. All right. And then there were, at the closing ceremonies, I think that's where we're at now. Yes, the closing ceremonies, there was door prizes for everybody. We surprised everybody this year, again, with something new we did that I had an idea for. I thought it would be cute at closing ceremonies to give everyone a special certificate. And the certificate basically says this is awarded for so-and-so, most likely to something. And we sat down as a team and made a different one for every single person. So we presented an award certificate to every single person at closing ceremonies. And I think everyone really enjoyed that. There were some really funny ones of just things that we watched and took note of. And then there was also door prizes, just again, because why not? And there was a couple extra things that were given that were donated anonymously for the retreat. One was this beautiful thing, this beautiful towel, a crocheted cloth. Everybody got one of those. And then the other one is another tea towel that they crocheted on that hangs over your oven door. And then everyone got a door prize, and this is what I got for my door prize also. Basically a couple of different stitch markers and like one unicorn. That's cute. I think this is from the Sexy Knitter, I'm guessing. So yes, that is all of my retreat acquisitions. So there was a lot of things from the retreat. It was so much fun. I think everyone had a really great time, which was great. The weather was beyond perfect. So yeah, really exciting. So I still have just a couple more acquisitions. I forgot. I will put in one more picture here. I did also have from the retreat some gifts. Some people gave us that were working the retreat some gifts, and then some other friend gifts. So I just kind of took a picture here. So I came home with lots of goodies. I was very spoiled and very grateful and thankful for everybody there. So let's get into things I've actually purchased now. All right, so this one is super exciting. I am so excited I finally ordered one of these. Have you all heard of this? So I have the lemon wood things that you hang on your wrist and you can, carry your yarn. So this is pretty much that, but it adds another component. So this is from Twice Shirred Sheep. And I don't have like a yarn I can put on it right now. But essentially, so you put this through here. You put your yarn on it like this. So you can still then do this with your, so you can hold it while go for a walk, whatever. But the extra thing is it has the carousel. So you'll see the magnets right here. So you put the magnets on and you put it on a table. Now it's a Lazy Susan. So it spins. So it's awesome. So you can literally carry it walking, not like that, like this, and then magnetize it to your table and you have a carousel. It is so awesome. I love it. And then while I ordered from them, I also ordered, because I love their stitch counters, and they had this cute little ice cream one. So I got that. All right. That is what I ordered. And then I got another package from Twice Shirred Sheep. Now, I had ordered their Advent, but I had ordered it like way after it was sold out. I had lamented about not getting it. It was sold out for a couple weeks. And I just kept checking because, I don't know, sometimes, who knows. So I checked one night and I was like, wait, it says that there's one Advent. I'm like, that has to be a mistake, right? So I put in my credit card and it went through. And I'm like, okay, awesome. Well then, like a week ago, it said that my Advent had shipped. And I'm like, that doesn't seem right. Like that's really early. So when it got here, I opened it because I was really curious. I'm like, that's 3 months early. And so I opened it. It's still in the box here. So I opened the package and everything was like open. I'm like, okay, this is not an Advent. And there definitely was not 24 little packages. So I emailed and said, hey, I ordered an Advent. It shipped. I got it, but this is not what I'm looking at. And she's like, okay, send me a picture. She's like, you received our fall box somehow. So she basically said I could keep it and buy it, or she would send me a label and I could send it back. Well, that's, how that is. Once you have it at your house, it's like, well, okay. I'm like, I just wanted to verify. I said, I'll still get the advent right because now it said that the advent had shipped. I didn't want there to be confusion in the system. And so she made a whole different order and like took off that the advent has shipped. So we're good. So I got the fall box. So this is the fall box and I will show you what is in it. So it came with this thermal wolf mug. And it came with some yarn. These are DK minis. Talk about fall colors. So good. It came with a cute hedgehog tape measure. A little bag. A little Notions tin with a bear. It slides. A hat palm. And cute little mushroom guy stitch markers. So one there. One there. And this is my favorite one. With this little strawberry. And the last thing, another row counter. And this one has the tree of life on it. So yeah. So yeah, that was kind of a, like, didn't plan on buying, obviously. But then when I got it, I was like, okay, I guess I'll keep it. Because I don't want to send it back. So, still on track to get the, I'm missing something over here. All right, a couple of the things I got. There were many discount codes for the retreat, including Devin, Knitty McPurly, who was at the retreat. She gave us a code, so I went on and ordered her yarn of the month. This is the September colorway, and then I ordered some other of her patterns also from her website. This is the Frankfurt Fingering color of the month. So it just says September 2024. And basically, they're on her website till it's gone. And then, I'm not going to get up and look for it, but I've been working on the Anna Zadora shawl with my Gritty Knits all year advent. I got the all year advent yesterday. This is one color. I must have dropped the other color between my desk and here, but I hope to get that worked on because that's pretty quick working on that. And then I'd be still up to date on my adding my colors in. And the last thing I got was yesterday at the store when I worked, Arkansas Yarn Co. I thought, because of course when we travel, we always overpack projects, don't we? So I already mentioned I'll definitely be bringing a sock. I'm definitely bringing my Diggory tee. But I thought, ooh, a hat might be nice too. Just, I know I probably don't need it. Like I could just do a sock and that. But my reasoning is the tee is just knit stitches. And besides the heel and toe, the sock is just knit stitches. And if you've been here for a while, I've told you how I get really bored with just knit stitches. So I kind of wanted a hat with a little something, not crazy hard, but just even if it's hotel knitting, just a little bit more. And we're doing a scenic train from New York to Rhode Island. It's, I think, like a 4-hour train ride. So I thought, oh, a hat might be nice for that. So I think I'm going to make a second, I know you can't see the pattern, but up here on this head up here is Court of Foxes hat by Tristan of Dragon Horde Yarns. I love that hat. And when I made that hat, it literally fits me, my husband, and my daughter. Like all three of us were like, ooh, is this for me? And I'm like, y'all can borrow it. But no. But I decided to get another one and work another one of those hats. It is some cabling, but it's easy to do without a cable needle. So I enjoy that hat and have a 16-inch needle, so easy to go, no problem. So I picked up an Earth Yarns This is Harvest DK, 100% superwash extra fine merino, and it's 300 yards. So in my color is blue. Let's see, the color is Cosmic Purple Carrot. If you've never had earth yarns, at least their tonal colors, they always name them how they dye them. So that is what they dye this one is, with a Cosmic Purple Carrot. So it doesn't really always match the color what you think it is, but that's how they dye the color, which is interesting. So I just think this is a really lovely tonal, and so we'll see if I cast on that hat before vacation. All right, I think that is it. Before we go, I want to mention one more thing. I didn't have a podcast highlight, but I wanted to mention a friend's website highlight, which is Cydney of Cydney Fowler Designs. She is always at our yarn crawl. She has a little shop. She does all kinds of hobbies. She has lots of beautiful jewelry, different things. And I know I talked about her after the yarn crawl episode because I got quite a few purchases from her. So she had been working on getting a website up. So please check out her website. It will be listed below in the notes, and it will be updated as she's going. She just got it up a couple days ago. So, but keep on the lookout there. She has some great things. So definitely wanted to shout out my friend Cydney. All right. So I think that is it. I am off to vacation in a few days, and I am planning on visiting 2 yarn stores that are on my bucket list, so that is super exciting. So there will definitely be things to talk about on the next podcast. So I will see you in 2 weeks. Bye.